No,
Carl.
please, let's play some more ads.
Do you really want some ads?
I'm tired of the music and chat. Please play some more ads, Carl. Please.
Carl.
Christ's sake. Cure on XFM 104.9. That's what it's all about, Steve.
Absolutely classics.
Yeah, we've got some more classics coming up.
Looking forward to them.
Now, when we were talking to Carl in the week, the thing we're talking to Carl is that you come up with something that's sort of like quite innocent, and he goes, well, once, right? And you realise that it's comedy dynamite. He doesn't know it, but we want to go save it. And he let out, you were filling in a form, weren't you? It was all like your girlfriend thinking you're a div. And it's happened before, isn't it? Because she came home and you'd filled out a form to get a job once, hadn't you?
Yeah.
What was that for?
Granada Telly.
And on it...
Well, let Carl explain.
Yeah.
You see, this is what annoys me with job applications, because rather than just saying, do you want the job and what can you bring to this business?
Yeah. Do you want the job is a good one.
Because the thing is...
That's sort of the one for the boys.
No, listen, right?
Because if they say no,
Yeah,
I don't think they want the job.
Yeah, but listen.
Go on.
I mean, I presume with what you do, you have to take people on and stuff.
What, in a fight, you mean?
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think it's more important that you're willing to graft and put the hours in
Sure.
than say that, you know, you did well at school.
Yes,
Sure.
Because if I wanted to, I could have done well at school.
of course.
I just didn't want to.
Yeah.
So where's this going? So you had the application form.
So when it came to the qualifications bit and that, I couldn't fill them in because I didn't have any qualifications. And it was also asking about your languages. And I put down English quite good.
English quite good. Ha ha ha.
And his girlfriend came
Brilliant.
home and seen the form that he'd sent off. This was a copy of it.
Yeah.
And so she went, oh, you know what I mean? So that's what started, you know, the disappointment.
So they're going to get that and think that you're not English.
I don't think I've got it. It was ages ago.
Right.
How long ago was it?
Oh, well, it was when I was still in Manchester, so 5 years ago.
I don't think you've got it, no. I think you'd...
That could be a long list.
I mean, there's probably a lot of admin problems in that organisation, but they probably...
But
it's
what I meant by it is that you know, I can speak English, but I don't know all these long words that people use all the time.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Oh, can I just tell this quickly? In the week, I'm talking to you now, the listener. Usually I don't.
Yeah.
Carl said, about embarrassing him on air and that, and he's worried about his education, and he was worried about not knowing long words. Like, we come up with any long words. And he said, and I was scared you were going to... And he's Eastern European leader. His surname is Milosevic. And Carl said, so I learnt it this week, and learnt it so you can't catch me out in case you start. I said, what? And he said, he thought about it, and he went, Flobodan Milosevic.
Got the surname right, though, didn't he?
You
So
got
what's
the
his
surname
name?
right.
What's his name?
That's how Bill and Ben would address this leader.
How would they have said it?
Flobodan Milosevic.
What's his name?
Slobodan
Yeah.
Milosevic.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done.
Anyway, Carl, look, you almost let it slip then as you were talking about your filling out that application form. There's some big news that everyone needs to know, which we were stunned by in the week, although the more we sort of talk to you, the more it starts to fall into place.
Yeah.
But Carl, what's the story?
That I haven't got me exam results from my GCSEs.
He never turned up to get his exam
I
results.
was working.
And so, how many did you take in the end? Because you weren't even sure about that, were you? You think you took maths and English, don't you?
Yeah.
And
Did art.
you think you've handed in the artwork for art, don't
Now,
you?
art was continual assessment, wasn't it? Coursework. And what was the that you made?
I made a man sort of putting his arms into a car.
You made a model of a man putting his arms into a car.
What was this?
So
Sort of
that
like-
one's passed.
Was
We
that
can
this,
take that
this
aside.
a homage to break-ins in Manchester? Was this? Was this? Oh, look, he does what he sees.
Yeah.
So
you've
what's
got
it-
that. That's safe. You definitely got that one.
So you've taken art, you've taken English and maths, you think? So this is what we're going to do, listeners. We're going to try and find out his exam results for him and tell him next week.
Live
We're gonna-
on air.
We're going to call his school, we're going to try and track him down, and we are going to have a little envelope, and we are going to give Carl, at the age of 29, his O-level results. GCSEs, yeah.
Now, Carl, so you took maths.
Yeah.
You think you took English. Do you remember turning up to do those? Do you remember sitting in the room filling in the forms?
Yeah.
Okay. And how did you feel you did?
I don't think I did well.
You don't think you did well? Did you revise?
No.
Why didn't you revise?
Because I don't really believe in it.
Okay.
Well, it's just that if you don't know it, then you don't know it. You shouldn't have to start looking at a book. If I went to like the hospital
Yeah.
and the doctor said, "Oh, you need your appendix out," but hang on a minute, I've just got to read up on it.
Yeah.
that isn't good enough.
Okay.
He should know, and that's the way I feel about it.
To be fair, though,
He did do the revision beforehand.
yeah, they don't usually pass on, like, maybe, like, when they're in practice.
Yeah,
7 years
information
down
they
the
took in
line.
by osmosis.
Yeah, yeah, and bloke comes in and goes, "Can I just see what you did with that?" And I goes, "You've passed."
Yeah.
Phew, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good job I watched Casualty.
I just like the way, the things that interest me, I remember. Things
Okay.
like snakes not having ears and stuff.
Yes.
I didn't have to read about that.
No, you just learnt that, yeah.
You saw it on the telly, didn't you? You saw it
Yeah.
on that Ian Wright programme.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is what Carl said to me. He said, it's actually, I called Carl up in the week, and Reese was with him. You know, Reese used to be on XFM,
Yeah,
and he took the phone, and he went, "Carl's worried, I've seen that programme." He said, "Snakes don't have ears, right?" He said, "So you can creep up on them and pick them up." And he said, "Carl's worried." He said, "How do you ever put them down again?" Because then they know that you're there.
I woke up the other night quite late,
Worried about that.
and I said to my girlfriend, I said, "How do you put a snake down?" And she said, "What are you talking about?" I said, "That Ian Wright thing, this guy managed to pick up a snake. And do you know that thing where they clamp its head on a jar to get the poison out?"
I do now.
Right? They did that, but they didn't show you how they got rid of it, and I thought it could really get nasty, because it's obviously annoyed that you've had its head pressed in the jar.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right?
they hate that.
Now,
Especially as it's in front of their mates.
when you lift it off,
Yeah,
right, you've got hold of it.
yeah.
If you go to chuck it down, it's going to turn on you.
It's going to go wild, isn't it?
So, I just wondered.
Well, what you do is you never put it down, Carl.
Yeah, that's why
That's what happens.
that bloke has got about 11 or 12 just carrying him.
Exactly.
Yeah, you never put it down. You sling it. Who cares?
You just throw it, don't you, really far.
That's not that. I don't think you should throw.
But
snakes.
Carl, listen,
I
don't worry. We're not asking you to get involved with snakes. We're just asking you now. You've done maths, you think?
Yeah.
Did no revision for that.
No.
Okay. English. Do you remember what it was? Did they ask you about Shakespeare? Did they ask you
I can't
about books?
remember, but I must have done it because I thought that was.
It was
important.
English language, not English literature, wasn't it? So it was
Was
like
it spelling and all that?
So
sort
was
of
it? No, was it like a comprehension? You read a passage and had to ask questions on it. Was it? Did you have
I
to
might
write a
not have
short
done English.
essay?
I don't know. I can't remember any of that.
thing? Okay.
I did a science,
Okay.
did it-
Physics or chemistry?
physics.
All right. Well done. And this is all you think?
You actually took that. You actually took physics GCSE. You think?
You're obliged to do a language, I think. Did you do French?
I did French for a bit.
I
But
don't think you are. I don't think you have to do a
I
language.
think you have at GCSE. I think you've got to.
Well, English quite good. I think that's his language he did.
I
So you don't know about
I
language.
can't
History?
remember.
Geography?
Just we'll find out, won't we?
Okay, but you just can't remember. I can't believe you can't remember turning up for these things because it's quite a big moment in people's lives. It is
the
it is the
problem
thing
was-
that you've been working to all of your educational life.
On the day that the things came out, I was working at as a printer,
Okay,
and it was a really busy
A lot of
day.
spelling mistakes. That
it was
day
a
in
really
that
busy
paper,
day,
wasn't
so
it?
you're bound to forget.
Yeah,
your
yeah.
exams.
No, but I had to use gold ink that day,
Oh,
and it's.
Yeah,
I mean, you're
yeah,
not a
yeah,
printer,
yeah.
so you don't know.
No,
this.
no, that's the biggie, isn't it?
But it's tough. You've got to really get your rollers clean.
Carl, play a record, mate, and good luck with the exam results. Hopefully, we'll have them for you by next week.
PJ Harvey on XFM 104.9, the home of the classics.
Absolutely.
Classics.
Classics, classics, classics.
Oggy, oggy, oggy.
Oi, oi, oi.
Well, we were talking earlier about this. As this book, They Died Young, right? And there's all these theories about these people, like famous people that aren't really dead. And I remember speaking to someone about this, okay? And they said to me, Bruce Lee is not dead, right? They said he's not dead, right? And I said, well, how do you know? He's going, no, it was a whole big thing by the Hong Kong government, and he's actually working as an undercover cop in Hong Kong,
I've
using his kung fu powers. Now,
No, apparently he faked his own death, Carl,
Yeah.
so that he could work undercover for the Hong Kong
Yeah.
police, infiltrating gangs, the triads, that sort of thing.
Now, my point is this: if you're going to use someone undercover in Hong Kong, right? You know, an undercover cop. I suggest using the most famous Chinaman of all time. That
Yeah,
would
that's
be
a guarantee.
yeah.
Yeah.
So when he's taking away a gang, they're going, "You look a bit like Bruce Lee." He's going, "No, I don't know. See this moustache?
It was a bit wonky.
Well, it's just take my word for it. I'm not Bruce Lee, all right? Well, all that stuff you did when you were punching us and kicking us and yes, but I'm not
It does look a bit like the stuff in my film, in his films,
in his films. Yeah,
but it's not.
It does
It's just
not.
coincidence.
no, yeah.
Thing is, though, I'm not sounding bad here, not trying to offend anyone, but they do all look the
Right.
same.
They do all look.
No,
the
no,
same.
no.
No,
It's-
no. You know, we're having a serious chat.
Right.
I'm not. You know, I'm not here to upset anyone.
Right.
And what I'm saying is, over here.
I'm so sorry.
No, I'm not. Yeah, but you know me. I'm not. I'm not out to upset
Right.
anyone.
Right.
You're not a racialist.
No.
What
So-
do you mean? Are you saying
What
Oriental
I'm
people
saying is-
all look alike?
Well,
Is-
look at the people over here, right?
Yeah.
With like you've got
No.
you've got ginger
this-
people. You've got people with black hair. You've got people who are fat. People who are thin. But they're all so sort of fit, which isn't a bad thing. They all do that sort of thing in the park. They're all fit. It's a place where black hair. I mean, when they come here, they take pictures of people with ginger hair, don't they? Because they don't get them over there. That's what I'm saying. So calm down. Jeez.
So you're saying that Bruce Lee, the most famous Chinese movie star of all
They
time,
can't tell them apart.
He can get
other
away with
other
it.
trial members would. How are they? I mean, how are they going about the business at all? I mean,
Yeah.
what I'm saying is, how would
tell
they
it-
even realise
yeah.
that was the guy?
What do they have to do? Wear numbers in, because there's a billion
No, but
of them.
when you know them, then you know.
So what? Oh, I see. They can tell each other apart, can they? Well, they got signals. This is amazing, isn't
That's
it?
how he got away with it.
Simon, which one are you? Just raise your hand, Simon. Yep. Chang, which one's Chang? Chang, good. Yeah.
Oh, it must be murder, mustn't it? Just
That can be the only.
people going into the wrong houses all the time, getting off with their mates' wives.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It must be a nightmare. Then.
It must be a nightmare.
This-
Carl, please don't complain. He doesn't know what he's doing. So I'm really sorry to anyone that's... he honestly does not know what he's saying. XFM 104.9.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
Go on.
I don't think I am offending anyone.
Okay. Fine, that's all right then.
And you know that I wouldn't want to do that.
No, I know you don't.
Before
Oh,
I
no.
swore
Oh, I
on the
know.
radio, I said, right, if you got kids in the car, turn your radio down.
So before you make any potentially racist remarks, just point out if you are listening and you might be Oriental. Please don't take offence.
Or go... Oh.
You know what I mean. So
Yeah.
go on then. So what was this other dead person? Who's not?
Carl, play a record. Ricky's having a heart attack. We'll come back.
The music of tomorrow is here.
XFM.
Well, the music of tomorrow is here.
That's true enough.
Yeah. yeah.
XFM
It's been some sort of muck-up with the post.
Rick, a lot of the times when I've played Hip Hop Hooray, my hip hop track of the week,
Yeah.
you've sort of scoffed, you've thought that maybe I don't have credibility amongst the hip hop fraternity.
No, it's just the way you dance.
Well,
It's merely the way you dance that worries me, really. And it's sort of like... Imagine if Mr. Bean thought he was in D12. You know what I mean? It's that sort of... And I don't diss you. I mean, I know you're a hip-hop appreciator. You know, as
I
much as
wouldn't
the
expect you
next
to diss me. I'm a black queen. But the point is that I just there's a little something that Carl's got on tape for you that I think might change your opinion of my whole hip hop credibility.
man. Oh, no.
Now I've told you in the past,
Not
you
a
know,
videotape, is it?
not at all, not at all. Actually, Carl, just play it,
Yo, 1 2 1 2. We are the Dilated Peoples, chilling on Hip Hop Parade.
That's right.
With Steve Merchant, y'all. XFM 104.9. LA to London, Dilated People expanding them.
All day.
Now,
Who got
How
that?
about
You
that?
did that, Carl.
that was just when I was hanging out with my homies.
Who did it? Did they come in the week?
They were in the week, I think, and somebody got them to do it for him.
You know, no, that was when I was just hanging in the crib with them. Yeah, no. I was
That's
just hanging
very-
with them,
that's very nice of
and
them.
the guys just laid down some beats for me.
Yeah.
You know, just laid down some vocals, and I gave them max respect for it. You know, and the place was mad deep with girls at the time.
I assume you're going to play Dilated Peoples this week then.
Well, maybe.
Yeah,
Let's play it, Carl.
that's very good.
Merchant, y'all. XFM 104.9. LA to London, Dilated People expanding them.
Respect, guys. Cheers very much. Out of here. Yeah, guys, just maxing there. Lovely. Good to hear from them. Good to hear from the boys. Well, I'll probably be heading over to LA, NYPD, and just chilling with them.
I'd love them to meet you.
You're having a laugh.
I'd love them to meet you.
We would hang out. I know all the jive.
It's
talk,
like a
man.
thing they do on MTV or it's like being Dilated Peoples, and
Yeah.
they come in, they make us three look
Yeah,
like
look
a
like
rap
Dilated Peoples.
group. Wouldn't that be great?
Listen, I told you before. I've always remembered the words of Snoop Doggy Dogg.
Yeah,
Bitch is a bitch and a hoe's a hoe, but if a man be acting like a bitch, he's a bitch ass homie. All
Yeah,
right? Those,
sure.
those are the words from the
Sure.
street.
I would. It'd be like you two had won a competition or something. Do you know what I mean? Like that.
I just don't think you can believe it that I'd just be hanging out, with
Sort
them
of like
in the crib.
people of courage, and you get a chance to meet your favourite. It'd be amazing, wouldn't it?
Listen, we were talking earlier about the fact that Bruce Lee, and it's a well-known fact,
Yeah.
he faked his own death so he could continue his undercover police work, as opposed to being the
Because
biggest
no one
movie
would,
star.
you know, he doesn't
No one
look
was
different
spotting
to anyone else.
But I was talking to someone as well recently who utterly convinced, and you get this quite a lot, don't you, especially Americans, that Elvis Presley's still alive.
Yeah.
And I think, wasn't there some statistic, like more people believed Elvis was alive than believed evolution? Was that right?
Yes.
Something like that?
No. No, it's something worse than that. It could be something.
It was something like that. It's something
mad,
like, I don't know,
isn't
it's something like 42% of Americans
Yeah.
believe that Elvis Presley has faked his own death and is still
Yeah.
alive, right?
Yeah.
And there's this whole book that's been written about it, because, Carl, you might be interested in this. I know you're always fascinated by things that have been written down and therefore a gospel.
it? Yeah.
And
And that you don't have to
apparently-
revise yourself. You just learn off
Exactly.
Ian Wright. Yeah.
But apparently, the reason that Elvis is still alive is that there's a number of sort of pieces of evidence. One is that none of his family could agree which colour pyjamas he was wearing when he died. That's
Yeah.
evidence, apparently. Apparently, you know, he was an honorary member of the FBI. Well, apparently his signature appears on FBI documents well into the 80s, long after he should have died. Apparently no one can agree. There was sums of money that only...
a lot of fat people in dungarees have seen him.
Yeah. There's sums of money which apparently only he could have given authority to have transferred to other bank accounts. They've moved.
Yeah.
So this is all evidence that Elvis is still alive. And a lot of people, and I was talking to this guy, and he was saying, yeah, well, of course, the thing is, the pressures of fame were too much for him, that he faked his own death so that he no longer had to be this huge icon. You know, he could live an ordinary life. And my query has always been this: if Elvis faked his own death, do you think the method he'd have chosen is to have shat himself to death whilst on the toilet?
Yeah.
Yeah, but because he picked that, nobody will doubt it.
Right. So Elvis went to the FBI.
Yeah.
What do you make of it?
Well, exactly. So what we're saying, Carl, is that there was lots of methods open to him. You know what I mean? It's all like, he didn't go to his secret police and go, "Oh, I'm fed up. I want to fake my own death." You know what I mean? And they
Yeah.
go, "Yeah, that,
Yeah. What methods have you got?
I like to be found shit myself down the toilet.
You like to do what?
I want to be a big fat mother on
Yeah.
the toilet, just shitting myself to death.
Right,
Shells
just-
on my ankles.
Elvis is a good idea. I'm just wondering if there's maybe something a little bit more glamorous if you're going to fake your death. I mean, you could take a bullet for the president.
Huh. What, and shit all over him? Just shit
No,
myself?
we know crap at all.
That'd be what you
No, you just
There has to
take
be.
a bullet for him,
Oh,
or you
there has to
could.
be. There has to be shit involved.
Why has it got to be?
There has to be shit involved.
Why has it got to be crap?
I want this way. Oh, make it happen. Yeah, it's probably Carl, head in hand. Look. Yeah, he's worried about the things we say.
Yeah,
Jeez.
we haven't offended 1.2 billion people.
Yeah,
I
a,
didn't
a
offend-
fifth of the planet.
So, Carl, what do you make of it then? Are you
Like I
convinced
say,
Elvis is still alive?
Am I getting him mixed up with someone else?
Because all Elvis,
No, no,
all
no.
Elvises look alike.
Because
Now that is true. A lot of Elvises do look alike. That's safe.
on his gravestone,
Yeah.
didn't they get his name wrong, or is that his brother?
Who's his brother?
Aaron.
That's his middle name.
Yeah.
You're not an Elvis kind of expert, are you?
Hold on, wasn't Elvis one of a twin that
Yeah,
died?
that died, and I'm sure they got his name wrong on a grave or something. Oh, I don't know.
But that's consequently that's proof he's still alive.
No, the thing with the still alive thing, like I say, he picked that awkward death because nobody would be saying, hang on a minute, going round upsetting the family, wanting to talk about it because they'd be embarrassed to be saying, you know, he was found sort of
Yeah.
in a pile of mess.
Weighing 25 stone.
Yeah. So
Because you notice he also expanded to a huge size as well, so he was just a huge fat blob of a man. He also did that to add, extra.
So the glamour.
I don't quite understand these people who fake the deaths because.
Well, a lot of them don't. A lot of them don't, Carl. This is what, in a roundabout way, we're saying. We're saying that a lot of people that say people fake that they
Well,
didn't,
who
like
else-
Bruce Lee
who else has said
and James Dean and Elvis Presley. We're saying they didn't
No,
fake
but
their deaths.
he did die, didn't he? His head come off, didn't he?
Very good.
Who's this?
James Dean?
His head came off.
There is a light that never goes out. The Smiths, XFM 104.9. Nearly through.
Absolutely.
2 hours of chat, great music.
Bloody good music,
Carl
of course. Yeah, it's been
speaking
fun.
before
He
he thinks. By the way, you know when he was talking about Mowgli? You know he was going to talk about Mowgli and you said, oh, what are the gremlins called?
Yeah.
Were you thinking of, Mugwai. Mugwai.
Yeah, but they
To
were
be
still
fair,
they were
They were called gremlins. Yeah.
Yeah,
He was,
but
yeah. I know what you're thinking. I know, to be fair.
But my girlfriend won't be listening now, so she'll still think I'm a bit daft.
Why would she ever think that? How long have you been going out with her?
About 8 years.
Well then, why would she ever think you're daft? That's the only stupid thing you've ever said, the Mogwai thing. Why would she ever think she's going out with a, to be honest, a retard?
I think it's a very beautiful relationship you must have, you know, because it's odd. Like, I mean, she's a professional journalist or whatever,
Yeah.
you know, and she works for, is it Radio 5 or something?
BBC Sport.
BBC Sport.
TV.
And
So
you're a man who never
presumably,
even got
her
your exam
English
results.
quite good. Is English quite good? Her?
Really good.
Yeah.
So,
And did she do her exams?
yeah, she's quite bright.
Sure. So what do you bring to the relationship?
I think take the pressure off her.
Take the
I mean?
pressure off her to do what?
You know, like when she's had a stressful day and she comes home and talks to me, I think,
You would relax me, and that's the truth. I honestly, if I, you know, Carl, he can just go, wow, it's all right. Do you know what I mean? He don't get stressed. He sits in his little booth in there. He doesn't talk to anyone. His little sound booth all the week, and you're in your own little world, aren't you?
Well, it's interesting because I wonder sometimes what your aspirations are. I was thinking this. I was watching a repeat of Family Fortunes on Challenge TV last night,
I hate that.
and it was sort of mid-80s one, and I don't know if it's still the case, but it was the aspirations of the contestants. It was
Yeah.
so kind of. It was like, and what's your hobby? Well, you know, like to go out when it's nice weather and
Oh.
stay in
Well,
when
if
it's not.
you win £2,000, you'd probably be going out when it's nice, can't you? Yeah.
And she was like, well, and I sometimes like to watch TV, you know, and I was thinking, wow,
know-
man, you've really got some incredible
what-
dreams
what-
there.
what
It's
I-
just like that, you're just waiting to die, aren't you?
What,
That's
what
all
I
you're...
feel sorry for, right? Two things. You know, in like Stars in Their Eyes, and you get a little fella, and he's gutting fish in some sort of factory in Bolton, and he comes on, and he does, you know, something like Bobby Darin, okay, and Matthew Kelly comes out after and goes, well, I don't think you'll be going back to the fish factory. You will.
You will be going back.
You will.
Straight back,
Yeah.
mate.
Yeah.
Let's
yeah.
think of
don't
all
wind,
the Stars
don't
in Their Eyes
wind him up,
stars.
Kelly, because that's a nasty thing to do.
I'm
He'll be-
trying to think of all the Stars in Their Eyes contestants that have gone on to great things.
What happened to that little fella that looked like the little Alsatian puppy that did Chris de Burgh? He looks a bit like Chris de Burgh. He looked like he had problems.
Well, now what was it? Is Ian Moore his name was?
Now he was.
Well, it's interesting. My friend bought me as an ironic gift for my birthday. He bought me the live video of Ian Moore. You'll be pleased to know that Lady in Red was on there, among a number of other hits. But it was brilliant. It was called, it had a picture of Ian on the front. It said, Ian Moore, naturally.
His jacket was
like-
too big for him as well.
Of course. It was ludicrous. But I don't know if this guy is Ian Moore.
Yeah.
Or was it Ian Moore, he's no longer being Chris de Burgh, he's just natural.
What did he sound like when he wasn't being Chris de Burgh?
Chris de Burgh.
Did he really? Because he met him, didn't he? He met.
Yeah. Well, Chris de Burgh, I think Chris de Burgh couldn't wait to get back on the telly.
Well, the thing is, I think Ian Moore is actually earning more than Chris de Burgh now. I think.
They could have got Chris de Burgh on there
Yeah,
as a contestant.
you can get Chris de Burgh for £1,000, but Ian Moore's going up for £1,200 now, just to PA to adapt. But he does Lady Maid. He does all the hits. He does Don't Pay the Ferryman.
Yeah.
Don't even set a price. Does all those.
Interestingly, I saw him interviewed once, and Lady in Red's not his favourite song.
You're joking.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
But he was only going to play that if it was the fat ginger Sarah Ferguson.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
It was only if she was wearing some red.
He was only going to play that when?
It was a live thing, and he was only going to play that if she was wearing red or something.
Right.
Didn't
That's
her
beautiful.
freckles count?
That's beautiful.
No, so luckily she had a red. That must have clashed with her a bit.
Yeah.
A red scarf on her face.
And the highlights in your hair that catch the light.
Yeah.
Such a beautiful lyric.
Never seen you looking so lovely as did. The thing is, right? He misses a rhyme there. He goes, "I'm going to ask you to dance, looking for a little romance." Now he could have said dance, couldn't he?
I met a man once in a bar. I was talking to him for some reason. I was annoyed by him. I was wound up by him, and I said that I'd written Lady in Red, and I never got any money for it because I found out he was like a music lawyer, and he went, "Well, give me a call. I'll investigate that." And he was actually going to do it for me. I love the idea of that. Just
Why did you say that?
really bored, and I didn't like him much, and I thought that was.
Why did you choose Lady in Red though?
Because I think I was singing it with a friend of mine, and
Sure.
he came over and went, "Oh, good voice," and I went, "Yeah, I wrote this."
What pub is this?
It was North.
Is it?
Yeah. Never seen looking so lovely as you did tonight. So anyway, that's enough of my Christopher anecdotes.
Yeah.
That's very much the end of the show.
And it is. It's been a great show.
Hang on, have I got time for a song for the lovers, or have I missed that?
No.
If you give it me
Of course
now.
you have. Yeah, what are you going to play? What are you going to play?
What, are you going to play a song now and then we've got time for it afterwards?
No, you'll have to give it me.
Yeah.
Right
Oh, I better
now.
dig it out. Well, can
What,
you keep
what,
people
yeah, what
entertained?
have you chosen? I'll keep it going.
Well, a friend of mine who keeps making me little compilations has stuck on an old Tom Waits track, which is from his first album, one that I've not listened to for a while.
Brilliant.
I re-listened to it. It's absolute dynamite.
Brilliant.
Can anyone hear me?
Yeah.
Just wondering around.
Yeah. He's just getting out of his bag now because we weren't prepared for this. We sort of ran out of time. We're having such a great time with the philosophy of Carl.
What do you fancy doing anyway with your future?
Me?
You know, I'm just going to tell you now. You know we're still on air, don't you? Before it gets too casual, you know we are still broadcasting to the capital. Okay. Yeah. What do you fancy doing with your future?
Well,
Steve?
once I've made all that money from suing Krista Burr, no, my future, I'm living my future, man. I wanted to have some good mates like yourself and Ricky.
Yeah.
You know, Carl, I wanted to be on the radio. I
We're
wanted
going
to play great songs.
We're like the Three Musketeers, me, you, and Steve. We're like the original Rat Pack. We're like Ocean's 11. I'm Sinatra.
Yeah.
You're Sammy Davis Jr. and you're what's his name? Dean Martin, aren't you?
Yeah, or Joey Lawrence. What's his name? Joey Lawrence, not Joey Lawrence. Joey Bishop.
Joey Deacon.
Joey Deacon.
My dad said the ending on the old one's better than the new one.
We should definitely get your dad in, man. That would be just dynamite. When people get tired of you, we've got the whole Pilkington family to choose
The
from.
whole gene pool.
Have you seen it?
No. Carl, have we got time for this now, really, mate?
What
To be fair. Okay, it's track number 1. Now, interesting thing
is
about Tom
shoddy.
Waits is that this is from his first album, and he doesn't sound like that kind of gruff, lived-in guy that he wants to
He
be.
didn't
actually sounds like
smoke.
something of a crooner.
Yeah.
But this is a track called Old 55, which bizarrely I think might have been covered by the Eagles. But anyway, I think it's a really lovely track, really beautiful track,
I'll see you next week.
and we'll see you next time.
Say goodbye, Carl.
So yeah,
Say sorry
for what?
for if you offended anyone.
I didn't. So if I say sorry, that's saying I'm guilty.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left. That's when the cannibalism started.
What was that?
You ready to do this?
I'm ready. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. I've got a beautiful feeling. Everything's going. Wait a second, something's coming towards the window. It's a plane.
Oh my God, we're starting this episode with that. Oh the goodwill from our first 2 episodes about 9/11 out the window. Welcome to the last podcast on the left, everybody. Episode 3 on 9/11. Today's episode, I know Henry Zabrowski has been looking forward to it. Marcus Parks has been looking forward to it. I, Ben Kissel, have my nerd alert ready to go. We're discussing mysticism, Satan, and a whole series of other bizarre things dealing with 9/11.
The 9/11 mega ritual, Ben.
Ooh, okay.
Otherwise known as the capital T fucking truth.
Oh, all right. Well, that's me.
So we've gone through, I'm going to say straight up, we've gone through a lot of horse shit in the last 2 episodes about, like, what was real, and they did really good journalism about politics. What we're going to talk about today is the absolute truth about the event, the mega ritual known as 9/11 to us, and known as the celebration of the opening of the mouths to heaven, in occurrence to the teachings of Aleister Crowley. That's the long title. That's the prog rock title. Dogmeat did a lot of research about episodes 1 and 2, and then Dogmeat, Too Real, myself, went and we read a book called The Most Dangerous Book in the World, 9/11 is Match Ritual. And I got to say, it is a bit difficult. And we're going to go through that. But first of all, what I'd like to do, so we are releasing this purposefully today on September 11th in accordance to the ritual. Right, Marcus?
Yeah, absolutely.
Dogmeat?
After 9/11 episodes, after the 9/11 episodes, can we stop calling you dog meat? I can't deal with it, Too Real.
That's like saying Marcus's last name, it wasn't Parks, all right? Or in real life, Shifty Spaghetti.
Well, yes, that's true.
Marcus's real name is Dogmeat Shifty Spaghetti, and it's been that way since the beginning. You're the one who's wearing the sunglasses. You know what I'm saying? Sunglasses that help you deny the reality. Me, I'm wearing bifocals. I'm seeing 2 levels of pure truth 24/7 because I'm too real to be loved.
I think you just referenced John Carpenter's They Live. Rest in peace, Roddy Piper.
But before we get into the truth, I want to talk about another version of the truth. It's a type of there's a theory that goes around because, again, Too Real here. I often believe in the hologram system, right? That we're living in a hologram universe, and guess what? Too Real is too real for.
The hologram universe?
So I'm saying we're living in a hologram. All right. And according to, I want to just, because I was really curious about the 9/11 as a hologram idea. Because there's a lot of people who truly do believe, a lot of very lonely, broken human beings who truly believe that 9/11 did not happen. That it was just it was a big movie, which would have been an awesome fucking movie. But unfortunately, 3,000 people had to die to make the movie, and then countless millions other Iraqis that did nothing, that we just blew up.
So when they say it's a hologram, do they believe that there were no actual victims? Do they think all these people were actors?
There are 2 different even levels to the hologram theory. One is that it didn't happen at all, that it was doctored video. But the real hologram guys say that's horseshit. What really happened is that there were B-2 bombers covered with a hologram type technology called PRIC, which stands for Projected Imagery Controlled Kinetics, that shot a missile into Tower 2. Mystery. And there's several bits of facts that are totally true that I don't know actually if they are true. Written by John Lear, who was a big theorist. He was a theorist about crypto animals and like all this different. He was a really great paranormal kind of like hub of reason. And then when 9/11 happened, he went completely insane. But this is a couple of things that they say. The planes could not possibly have traveled as at what they said was 480 knots colliding into the World Trade Center. The fastest the 767 travel is 360 knots, all right? And that's 480 knots. That's 120 knots faster than the plane's even designed to go because of the drag. There's drag in there.
But what if
holograms government's building? Shut up, Ben, you don't know.
I'm just saying.
Holograms have been designed by the government since the 60s. They've had these fucking holograms forever. You think that Ernest Borgnine's real?
Yes.
You're an asshole. You're an asshole.
What happened?
He was in Escape from New York. Oh my God.
Asshole. Ernest Borgnine is hologram. All right. Planes slice through the building like butter. They called it cartoon physics. All right. Also, too quiet. All right. Nobody heard the planes coming in. Almost silent approach. That's what they said. Well, apparently, a plane coming through downtown should have had 140 decibels. It's equivalent to sitting front row in a fucking Van Halen concert. People should have been like rockets. You would have been like, is that fucking Panama plane? And all of a sudden, boosh, 9/11. And they've been like, what? So the government had a flight path measured out. that was right next to the official, actual physical flight path of the plane that hit the World Trade Center. So what happened is they're saying that the real one was the B-2 had a hologram on it, and it was shooting through the thing, and we know that all this is true because they made a gigantic hologram duck in Japan, and you know that they have the technology to cloak two different planes. They made a missile look like a plane, and they made a B-2 look like a fucking cloud. Or they made it look like something. I don't know what they made it look like. It could have been like a red balloon, and a girl was like, "Oh, look at the balloon up in the sky," and then I was like, 9/11 fucking happened.
Again, waiter, check please. The date has to end at this point. So hardcore evidence. It's cartoon science. The duck.
The duck, yes, the duck. You can't fucking discount the duck. And there's also people that say that there were people on the roof of the Woolworths building that shot missiles into the World Trade Center at the exact same moment that a 747 or a gigantic hologram supposedly hit the building.
I mean, I want this to be real because I want our government to actually be able to do something. Yeah. You know, we can't even build a bridge in Minnesota, for Christ's sake.
I honestly don't think. Yes, these are for the truly lost, the truly upset people. I understand. You really don't believe these towers came down. Again, I mean, too real. I'm too real. Dogmeat and I, we are government shills. That is just the straight up truth. We've been accused on the internet, and I just want to say I can show you the check stubs
that I
got from the CIA. I'm sorry, but it's just the truth.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
Secret meeting. Barack Obama called in his chief of staff. Was like, "Get me the fattest and the stringiest podcast as you can find." I don't know why he sounds like John F. Kennedy.
Get me dog meat.
Get me dog meat. Get me too real.
And so we're helping build the fantasy hologram reality that the towers came down naturally because of the planes. And that's why what we want to do is that I've been struggling with that, right? With the fact that I've sold my honesty out to the government and my strength as an artist and my skills as a comedian out to our nefarious government.
Yeah.
And so that's why today we're going to break it down for you and tell you what really happened. I'm almost certain this is the real truth.
You would know.
Yes, because the hologram shit, that's all garbage. It's just total insanity. They do have hologram technology. They do.
Yeah, Tupac is performing a live concert right now somewhere.
Absolutely.
Via hologram.
Tupac fucking moonwalked into the World Trade Center and the whole thing blew up. I would know it's a hologram. They have the Tupac hologram. That's it.
There's a Tupac hologram and a large duck hologram. So 9/11 was a hologram.
It's okay. Today's research comes primarily from the most dangerous book in the world, 9/11 as Mass Ritual by S.K. Bain.
Ooh, good name.
Stephen King Bain.
Former art director of the Weekly Standard.
Okay.
Now, thanks to listener Claude Wilson right up top for letting us know about this book. And if you'd like to know more about the most dangerous book in the world, it is available on Amazon. I would, if you're really interested in esoteric stuff, it's a very difficult book to read, but the guy's a super fun writer, and I would actually recommend picking it up
Can I
if
just
you like
say
stuff
though,
like this.
if it was the most dangerous book in the world, couldn't you not Google it? Like Google search it and find it and then get it in the mail?
It's very easy to find.
Okay.
Because so this is where you're wrong again. It was self-published, and what we know about self-published works, or they are too real for our government.
Right.
I will say what I do like about Bain is that immediately, like when the way the book opens, is this book represents a collaborative effort with dozens of contributors whom I've never met or corresponded with, countless bloggers and independent researchers who, again, if you're an independent researcher, means that you're too inside. Like most of these captivated by the attacks of September 11, 2001, could only grope blindly in the dark and feel a small part of the humongous beast, not realizing its true dimensions or its true nature. Lastly, I would like to express my deepest regrets to Nermal, the forever kitten, who didn't survive the writing process due to a massive failure of patience on the part of the author late one night. PETA notice, animals were harmed during the production of this work.
What? Devastating. Nermal. I only think of Garfield's Nermal, and that's the only cat I gotta think of.
Yeah, Nermal. You know where Nermal was sent to? Abu Dhabi. You know where Abu Dhabi is?
No.
The Middle East.
Oh.
It's where 9/11 started, where the egg was shat out of the cloaca of terrorism.
Is Abu Dhabi in the Middle East?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the central premise of The Most Dangerous Book in the World is that the events of September 11th, 2001 were all a part of a decades-long magical mega ritual using techno-sorcery and deep-level occult programming designed for the purposes of psychological warfare while also serving as a loving tribute to famed occultist Aleister Crowley.
Now, we'll talk about this too. There is something to be said about the use of an event like this in order to do mass psychological warfare against the United States. We've already been talking about this, right? How they use it to help us swing into war. It's like the Gulf of Tonkin, blah, blah, blah. But magically, there's also stuff attached to an event of this size. When we talk about the release of Orgone energy, right? So Anton LaVey talks about what people used to do human sacrifice. What it was the idea of the body heaving in death. The death rolls of a body is what releases the Orgone energy. It's not the blood, it's not all the stuff, and it creates a lot of fucking havoc, which is why he switched to masturbation, because he says your body makes the same like shudder like it would in death, and that's what releases the Orgone energy, right? The amount of Orgone energy possibly released in the falling of these towers, not only just the symbolism of that, there's a lot of coincidences wrapped up into this whole scenario. Kind of like what you were bringing up between like the Kennedy Lincoln stuff, all the weird dumb like things that you talk about when you're stoned that are like the secretaries are named the same, blah blah blah. There's a lot of coincidences wrapped up into this thing because of how much loss there was there and how much kind of magical energy kind of gets trapped up into it.
Odd coincidences, and that's what we're about to get into a lot of really weird, actually true coincidences. These coincidences, I did look them up. I did verify that they did actually happen. But if you look at these huge like Kennedy-Lincoln coincidences, they would be impossible to coordinate.
Or seem to be impossible, Marcus, Mr. Dogmeat, if you were not a part of the gigantic Illuminati machine that's been putting these things into place for up to 300 years.
What's that, Mr. Obama? Yes, I want him to be fat and only have hair like he's wearing a wife beater. As if God gave him a wife beater to wear constantly. Henry has no hair on his arms. It's all exactly where an Italian should have it.
So both of the assassinations, both Kennedy and Lincoln, the assassinations were extremely traumatic to the nation, and they both had consequences that were felt worldwide that we still feel today.
Absolutely, and they're getting milked like a prostitute cow.
Yes.
Like a cow you throw dollar bills at it just to squeeze his udders so you cum your own pants. That is what our government has done with 9/11. Today.
Yeah.
Today. September 11th, that we were recording this.
Are we the prostitute cow? Or who's the prostitute cow?
Prostitute cow is the people, and the milk, all the soupy hot milk coming out of it is the sadness. And then the farmer, Dick Cheney, comes up and is like, yeah, nothing I like better than hot, weird milk with a bunch of bacteria in it. And then he starts slurping it down while then there's a bunch of chicks out there, the chicks of the Iranians. And he goes in there and he just snaps a bunch of chicks' fucking necks.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's exactly how it happens. So let's start with numbers. Let's start with numerology. Let's start.
Thank you. There's nothing I like better than starting with numbers, Marcus. Thank you so much, because I just didn't get enough math.
Let's start with a quote from famed occultist and huge Nazi influence, Madame Helena Blavatsky.